Hi guys, this is a video response to PixieElevens' video on re-traumatisation. She made a brilliant video about it, and I kind of just wanted to share my experience of it, because I actually think that I have almost like a really good example of re-traumatisation and the effects that it can have. So I thought I'd share that with you. Basically, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I experienced sexual abuse as a child, and this was something that has affected me a great deal. One of the ways that it affected me was my ability to have sexual relationships as an adult. In many of my adult relationships, was unable to have a sexual relationship, and this is something that a lot of men struggle to understand, and it normally ended up that I would actually be dumped because I'd be unwilling to move forward in the relationship. But with my last serious partner, I was determined to overcome this, and I would drink excessively to make myself able to be intimate. And it was something that I didn't enjoy, and it was a major trauma for me to be intimate with him. But it was something I felt like I had to do to be normal, and I really loved him, and I wanted to be able to fulfill that part of the relationship. But this was having a real detrimental effect on my mental health. It was making me more depressed. I was, very... I was kind of... Every time we were intimate, it almost re-traumatised me over and over again. So my psychologist that I see, she came up with a way to try and for me to relearn that it's okay to be intimate with somebody. And so with my partner and my psychologist, we agreed that we'd basically go right back to the beginning, whereby we wouldn't have sex at all. There would be no pressure to have sex. It wasn't it was completely wiped out from the equation, and the idea was that we build it up step by step. So for 2 weeks we were not intimate in the slightest, and the agreement was that he wasn't allowed to kind of pile on the pressure, and then after 2 weeks the idea was then we'd move to cuddling, and take that for 2 weeks, and then it would move to kissing, and so we were building up step by step without pressure. And my partner, I don't think he was too happy about it, but he kind of was quite accepting that this was probably the only way that we were ever going to get over the fears that I had, and so he agreed to it. And for the first week he was amazing, absolutely brilliant, and and it was just so nice to finally just feel so relaxed in his company, not knowing that it wasn't going to lead to anything, and I wasn't going to have to go through the stress of putting myself in a position of sleeping with him. But after a week, he would start to kind of make jokes about it, bring it up a lot that he was doing this for me. He was giving up sex for me, and then, you know, when we'd argue, he'd bring it up. So it was kind of not having the right effect, because I was then feeling guilty, pressured, which was what we wasn't meant to be doing. So it was already starting to not work. And then at the time I was very, very depressed, and you know, I used to spend most of the day on our sofa bed. I'd move from the bedroom bed to the sofa bed, and would spend virtually all day on the sofa bed. And one afternoon he came home, and without saying a single thing, I was led on the sofa bed, and he just came and got on top of me, and he pulled down my trousers and everything, and had sex with me. I was crying. There was no... it wasn't a nice act. You know, it was rape. And afterwards he just got up and said, "I'm sorry," and left. And we never spoke about it again. I made an emergency... My psychologist was away that day, so I made an emergency appointment with the duty team, and went and just completely broke down to them and told them what had happened. It was really difficult, because this was somebody who was meant to be somebody that cared about me, and he was meant to care enough to follow this, you know, plan that my psychologist had put in place, and I thought I could trust him. I thought I could trust him to follow the plan anyway, but especially I thought I could trust him not to do what happened. Although I didn't say no, get off me, I didn't, you know, fight him. It wasn't violent. It was rape. You know, it was clear to him that that wasn't something that was meant to be happening, and you know, I laid there and cried as he was doing it, and it was horrible. And I think it's made it now to the point where I don't think I could ever be intimate with somebody ever again. I just feel like I've been too traumatised, too damaged, not just by what happened with, you know, my now ex-partner, but, you know, what happened as a child. And then, you know, I tried so hard to work on that and to relearn that, you know, that sex is okay. It's not, you know, it doesn't always have to be something bad. And so whilst I was trying to relearn this, I was completely re-traumatised again, and I don't think I can ever get over that. And I don't think I want to try to get over it anymore. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like I gave it my best shot at getting over it. And I was just hurt all over again. And I'm sure it plays a massive part in, you know, what goes on, you know, with me now, mental health wise. And I just never want to be in that position where it can never happen again. And for me, that means that I don't want to be in any sort of relationship with a man. because I don't want it to happen again, and I spent so long being built up and being told that it won't happen again, and that, you know, and that, you know, I can get over it, and then it happened again. So for me, you know, the re-traumatisation, I think, was worse than the actual original abuse, because I really, really thought that I could trust him and that I could move on, and I obviously can't. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so, like, emotional, but you know, I didn't think I'd get emotional talking about it, because it's something that I've now accepted, but I guess it is still hard. I'm somebody that always wanted a family and children and stuff, and I've had to accept that the likelihood is that's not going to happen for me, because the thought of ever being in a relationship with somebody now just completely terrifies me. So yeah, that's just my experience of re-traumatisation. It's, you know, a lot of people can get over things and can move on, but for me it's just not going to happen, I don't think. Maybe I'm more sensitive, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just too traumatised. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that I wanted to share that with you, because I wanted people to see the effect that it can actually have, and yeah. Okay, and Bob and Betty were playing around in the background for you, which is nice. And Ben the hamster's doing really, really well. Bob and Betty absolutely adore him. And the most funny thing is Ben seems to love them, and when he's in his exercise ball, he follows them around intentionally. You know, it's not he just accidentally bumps into them. He follows them around, which is quite hilarious. And I'm sure Ben can't understand why he just isn't allowed to get out and play with them. But obviously that would end in disaster, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, take care, bye.